Deftones. The Deftones. Chino and Friends, one of, if not the greatest nu metal band of all time. Today I'm going to rank every single Deftones song in order of release, placing them on this beautiful tier list here. About 120 tracks for today. We've got all the main albums as well as a couple B-sides. Hell, we even have some covers today. Enough dilly-dallying, let's go. Adrenaline, the start of the band's discography, but certainly not a project to be overlooked. It's not as consistent as your White Ponies, but its peaks are high. Let's hop in. Bored, really heavy track, and maybe my favorite track on this record, actually. It's a great start to the album, and a great start to the band's discography. Amazing tier. Minus Blindfold, carrying on strong so far. Pretty damn good. Not as good as the last track, but I like this. I could see myself violently crashing my car to this song. I don't love the death metal screams, though. It's just a personal preference of mine. Good tier. 1 week. I spelled it wrong on the tier list. What are you gonna do about it? Really raw guitar on this track. Not my favorite one here. Not a painful listen, though. Back of the good tier. Nosebleed. This track sounds really generic to me, and to be honest, it's just not done all that well. First song so far I'm not a fan of. Same death metal screams that turn me off of Minus Blindfold. Decent tier track. Lifter. It's alright. Every song here sounds really similar, and I don't really like that a lot. It's not as bad as the last one, at least. Okay tier. Root. At least this one has a distinct sound. I like the guitar here a lot, actually. Pretty damn good drums, too. It's an all-around solid track. Top of the good tier. 7 Words. I believe the fans' choice for the best song on this record. Sadly, today I must fight the crowd and crown this song as average at best. I don't really get it, to be honest with you. It's better than a lot of this record, but it's no crown jewel like cats make it out to be. Behind Root, in the good tier. Birthmark. I like this one. I really like the intro to the song a lot. It's good stuff. Thumbs up. A little taste of Chino's vocals to come. Behind Root, in the good tier. Engine number 9. This is what I came to hear. This is a fucking awesome song. Really raw, everything. Incredible track. Top of the amazing tier. For real. This track just sounds kind of unfinished to me. A precursor of what's to come, but it doesn't really flow all that well with this record. The death metal screams again are actually pretty agonizing on this track specifically. Back of the okay tier. Fist. It's a bonus track, so I won't go too hard on it, but this is really just nothing. It's a really empty sounding track. Not enough going on here to like or even dislike this song, to be honest with you. It's a pointless addition, I think. Matt tier track. On to Around the Fur, widely considered the band's greatest work. Well, not widely, and actually not at all, but it's a vast improvement to the previous record and features some of their best work with ease. Let's go. My Own Summer. Absolutely fucking incredible track. One of the most iconic riffs, maybe in metal as a whole. Great opener for this album. I love it a lot. Our first God tier track. Labia. More pretty damn good stuff. Not quite up to snuff with the last track, but this is damn good too. Back of the amazing tier. Mascara. I don't like this one as much as the next guy. Maybe not even the guy after the next guy. It's solid enough, but certainly not up to snuff with either of the last 2 tracks. Really good tier. Around the Fur. Oh yeah. I have no fucking idea what he's singing about, really on any track on this record, but it sounds raw. Top of the amazing tier. Rickets. This sounds like it's fresh off the adrenaline press. It's super generic metal riff, pretty uninteresting vocals. It's not the best track here, and maybe the worst on this record so far. I'm gonna put it behind 7 Words in the good tier. Be Quiet and Drive. Easily the best song on this record, and that says something considering I already placed My Own Summer in the God tier. This shit is actually indescribably good. Top of the God tier. Lotion. This is pretty damn good too. Really heavy, really fast-paced. I like it a lot. Especially after a song like Be Quiet and Drive. Phenomenal stuff. Behind Around the Fur, in the amazing tier. Die the Flu, a sideways thumb for me. It's really forgettable track, to be honest with you. It's a track that very often slips my mind, and I don't know, I can't put it too high on the tier list for that. Behind Root, in the good tier. Head Up. Another track that feels out of place to me. I don't love it. I don't particularly hate it. It's just another super forgettable track. Above Ricket, in the good tier. MX, coming in at just over. Hold on, let me make sure this is right. Yes. Coming in at over 37 minutes, MX serves as the concluding track here. It features 20 minutes of silence and 2 pretty average songs. I'm unsatisfied and I'm a little bit upset, to be honest with you. Back of the decent tier. On to White Pony, widely considered to be the band's best work. This time, for real. It's got the hits, it's got My Glorious King Maynard James Keenan, and it even has My Glorious Prince Scott Weiland. Let's go. Back to School. If you didn't know, the band themselves doesn't even really recognize this track as a part of this album. I'm going to rank it for the completionist within me, but it's a watered down version of another track already on this record. It's not bad, whatever. Top of the okay tier. Fati Seira. Now for the real opener of the album, and goddamn it if it isn't incredible. Really strong opening, really memorable riff. It's really damn good stuff. Top of the amazing tier. Digital Bath, one of the darker songs I've heard in my lifetime, but it's too fucking good to deny. Vocally, some of Chino's best early work, definitely, and it's really different from the rest of this album. It's really unique, it's really goddamn good. Above My Own Summer, in the God tier. Elite, I don't like this one as much. It's not my least favorite here, but it packs a significantly weaker punch than the last couple tracks. The vocals here miss for me. The guitar is incredible as usual, though. I'm gonna put it at the back of the really good tier. RX Queen, I really like this song a lot. It could be the Scott Weiland fan within me, but damn it if this isn't a personal favorite of mine. Lyrically, one of my favorite tracks from this band. It's just really goddamn good. Masterpiece tier. Street Carp. This is my least favorite song on this record, and it's not all that close. It's alright, just nothing hooking me like the other tracks do. Above 7 words, in the good tier. Teenager, really out of place on this record, but in a vacuum, I think this track is actually pretty good. It's written by a younger Chino, off the dome. I think he was about 15 years old at the time. It's sad, it's good. It's just not really Deftones, it's more Chino. Back of the really good tier, though. I still like it. Knife Party, oh man. At least let me finish before you angrily comment threats. This is not God's gift to music. It's a good song, but it's nowhere near their best. It's good though. Top of the amazing tier. Korea. It's a song I often forget about, to be honest. One of the more forgettable tracks on this album specifically. I don't really know why. It's good enough. It's just a victim of being surrounded by better tracks, I think. Back of the really good tier. Passenger. Please note I am biased towards our glorious overlord Maynard James Keenan, but god damn it if this isn't one of my favorite songs ever. Incredible all around. The vocal dichotomy between Maynard and Chino just creates a joy within me that I'm not sure that can be matched by any other vocalist. Top of the god tier. Change in the House of Flies. Any song in a Dragon Ball Z movie is a friend of mine. On a serious note, this is great. You know it. I know it. Enough foreplay. Behind Digital Bath, in the god tier. Pink Maggot, a slow burner, but damn it if this track isn't some of their best work. It's a really rewarding listen, really interesting lyrics, a hearty thumbs up for me, a thumbs up with passion. Back of the masterpiece tier. Onto the band's self-titled album, which I will admit has flown under my radar almost inexplicably. I don't know much about it. I've heard it's the band's darkest work. I'm excited. Let's hop in. Hexagram, very solid start to this record. I'm a fan. I'm not the biggest fan. I'm not the smallest fan either, though. I'm just a regular fan. I'm a normal fan. Back of the really good tier. Needles and Pins. This one I like a lot. Really groovy riff. I've never said that before in my entire life. I don't know if you could tell. Behind Board, in the amazing tier. Minerva. This is fantastic. Phenomenal even. Vocals, absolutely excellent here. Great lyrics. Smiley face from me. Back of the masterpiece tier. Good Morning Beautiful. This sounds super generic to me. It's nothing terrible, but nothing I love. A likely one-time listen, and into the vault it goes. Behind 7 words, in the good tier. Death Blow. Better than the last track, but not by too wide of a margin. It's pretty good, just nothing too memorable here, man. I don't know what else to say. Back of the really good tier. When Girls Telephone Boys. This is solid. I like it. It's not knocking my socks off. Top of the good tier. Battle Axe. Another neutral track here. It's good enough, but this record doesn't really have a heavy hitter like the previous couple albums did. Just a lot of mediocrity, to be frank. Above Street Carp, in the good tier. Lucky You, really obscure track, and in this case, not in a really good way. It's really disruptive on this record, to be honest with you. Back in the decent tier. Bloody Cape, I like this one a lot. Favorite track in recent memory, but I must admit, my memory is about 12 minutes at best. This is great though, above Board, in the amazing tier. Anniversary of an uninteresting event. This is really strange, and again, not in that good way they've done in the past. This isn't terrible. In fact, the vocals here are excellent, but it's just not all that great as a whole package, I guess. Above mine is Blindfold, in the good tier. Moana. And we end on a bit of a whimper here. To be frank, my socks have been on throughout almost this entire album, and this track is no different. More of the same, with the same being alright, I guess. Above Lifter, in the okay tier. On to Saturday Night Wrist, another relatively inconsistent album, but this one with some of their highest peaks in their discography, I would say. Let's go. Hole in the Earth, starting off with exactly what I was just talking about. I think this is one of their best songs. Argue with the Wall, above My Own Summer, in the God tier. Rapture, and here's the other side of that coin. This is alright at best. It's not a skipper, but it's nothing too special. More super generic, kind of adrenaline-sounding music. Back of the really good tier, I made all that up. Beware, this is one of my favorite songs on this record. This is really damn good. Incredible vocals, really ominous lyrics. I like it a lot. Behind Pink Maggot in the masterpiece tier. Cherry Waves, what is there to say? It's perfect. Down to the minute details. Heart-wrenching, incredible vocals, the heaviness. Above Hole in the Earth in the God tier. Main, a song featuring another one of my favorite vocalists, the great Serj Tankian. He does a damn good job on this track, but it's not one of my favorites, to be honest. I think it's Chino's vocals here that actually leave me wanting a little bit more. Top of the really good tier. Up, up, down, down, left, right, A, B, select, start. If you put it in correctly, I believe you get God mode in GTA San Andreas. Enough about the title, though. This song it's a nothing sandwich. An inoffensive interlude, but it's nothing more than that. Top of the okay tier. Xerxes. This is a damn incredible track. Really incredible vocals. This whole album, to be honest, I'm pleasantly surprised on my revisit to this record. I don't remember liking this track as much as I do listening to it for this video. Behind Engine number 9 in the amazing tier. Rats, Rats, Rats. I don't like this that much. To be honest, I think it kind of disrupts the flow of this album a lot. It's not awful, but it's a real step down from the rest of this record so far. Above Head Up in the good tier. Pink Cell Phone, an iconically bad song. I'm not going to break from the crowd here. I mean, this is just really fucking bad. The disgustipated of their catalog. It's the worst song on this record. It's the worst song in their discography. It's not agonizing, though. Bad tier song. Combat, this is alright, nothing crazy again, it's very forgettable. It's by no means bad, though, it's top of the good tier. Kim Dracula, uh-oh. Controversial take time, this song is alright at best. I know cats love this song, but I don't get it. It's got good vocals, it's got good lyrics, but it's just, I don't know, it's not fun to listen to. Behind Root, in the good tier. Riviere, I probably said that wrong. I don't actually care. This is a good track. A great way to conclude this record, I think, actually. Smiley face for me. Behind Elite in the really good tier. On to Diamond Eyes, a tribute album to the band's bassist, Chi Chang, who prior to this album ended up in a coma after a car accident. A lot of the songs are blatant tributes to him, but this album is beautiful in many different ways. An underrated album, if you ask me. Let's go. Diamond Eyes, the title track, and an absolutely explosive start to this album. Incredible track. Top of the masterpiece tier. Royal, a slight downgrade from the last track, but this is still really damn good. I like it a lot. Behind Knife Party in the amazing tier. Command Control, this is a pretty average song. This could have been on any previous album, and I wouldn't have questioned it. Really phenomenal guitar riff, though. Behind Kim Dracula in the good tier. You've Seen the Butcher, perhaps the most overrated song in their discography. It's a hit for reasons I genuinely can't figure out. Very, very average. Better than the last track, but it's not knocking it out of the park. Behind Korea, in the really good tier. Beauty School. Now this one is a hit for a good reason. This song is a genuine experience, I would say. The bridge in this song is one of my favorite moments in music. Incredible. Don't Hurt Me for This. Behind Digital Bath, in the God tier. Prince. A lot of people sleep on this track, but I'm here to tell you I'm wide awake on this track here specifically. That didn't make much sense. Anyway, I like this song a lot. Nothing too impressive or crazy going on here. It's just got a really strong riff, I think. Behind Xerxes in the amazing tier. Rocket Skates, this is alright at best. Sounds like a B-side of an old album that they threw on this record to fill space. Very forgettable, very out of place. Behind Battle Axe in the good tier. Sex Tape, one of the most iconic starts to any song ever, I think. Really fantastic track, showing that glorious vocal range Chino always has in his back pocket. Beautiful song. Behind Passenger in the God tier. Risk, this is more absolutely incredible shit, man. This one absolutely riddled with despair, but some of my favorite Chino vocals ever. Damn good track. Back of the masterpiece tier. 976 Evil. God damn it, I love this one too. Really good vocals, really good lyrics here. Another beautiful track. Behind Bored in the amazing tier. This Place Is Death. Not the conclusion I hoped for, to be honest with you. If we ended on that last track, I think we're damn close to an S tier record. This is okay. It's not in comparison to the rest of this record, though. It's behind Good Morning Beautiful in the good tier. Do You Believe? I actually hadn't heard this album's bonus tracks until this video. My thoughts? I'm unimpressed. This isn't very good. Top of the okay tier. Ghosts. This is worse than the last one. It is a cover, but it's not done very well. Back of the okay tier. Caress. Adrenaline F-side track here. Super heavy. It's not bad. The vocals are pretty tough, though. I Won't Be Back. Behind Rickets in the good tier. On to No Yokan. Perhaps my favorite Deftones record as a complete package. It's damn good. It flows incredibly well, and it's got some downright masterpieces in the mix. Let's go. Swerve City, absolutely incredible opening track. Short, sweet, and to the point. Flawlessly transitioned into track 2. I can't say enough good things. Behind Beware, in the masterpiece tier. Romantic Dreams, really damn good as well. I don't like the chorus as much on this track. Kind of rough on the transitions within the song as well. Behind Main, in the really good tier. I'm also going to take this time to move Needles and Pins down just a little bit. Behind Elite, in the really good tier. Leathers, I like the transition a lot on this track. Really great stuff. I could also violently crash my car listening to this song. Really heavy, really good. Back of the masterpiece tier. I'm also going to move Knife Party up to the masterpiece tier, right above Leathers. Poltergeist, this isn't as good. It's still damn good though. It's a very inconsistent track if I had to describe it. Above Rapture, in the really good tier. Entombed, come on. It's some of their greatest work to date. Hauntingly beautiful track. Above Digital Bath, in the God tier. Graphic Nature, weakest track on the record so far, and it's without question. Doesn't do very much, to be honest. Behind Battle Axe, in the good tier. Tempest, I like this one a lot. Really damn good guitar on this track. Vocals, excellent as usual. Great chorus. Behind Around the Fur, in the amazing tier. Gauze, I love this one too. This whole album, top to bottom, is one of my favorites ever, man. Very few skips on this album. This one's certainly not one of them. Above Tempest, in the amazing tier. Rosemary, another absolutely elite track, widely considered the best on the album. It doesn't quite reach that height for me, but it's damn incredible. Ridiculous vocals, almost 15 years after their debut. Chino's an animal, man. Above Cherry Waves, in the God tier. Goon Squad, this sounds like old Deftones and just doesn't really work well with the rest of this record. If there was a skipper on this album, I think it would be this track. Not terrible, but it's not the best. Behind 7 Words in the good tier. What Happened to You, an underrated closing track if you ask me. Another great way to conclude this record. Is it very Deftones-like? Absolutely not, but I think it's a very fitting way to end a record with this concept. Behind Mascara, in the really good tier. On to Gore, widely regarded as the band's weakest project. Is this really the case? Yeah man, this isn't great. Whatever, let's go. Prayers and Triangles. The album actually starts off pretty strong. I actually allowed this track to fool me into thinking this whole album would be good. That was an error in my judgment. This isn't bad though. Behind Teenager, in the really good tier. Acid Hologram, it gets much worse than this, but this still isn't very good. Very bland, very forgettable. Behind This Place is Death, in the good tier. Doomed User, same exact thing. It's not offensively bad, and this is one of the better songs on this album, but that's just a testament to the mediocrity of this record. Above Acid Hologram, in the good tier. Geometric Headdress. For this track, I'd like to quote another reviewer's thoughts on this record. I genuinely think that literally digging my teeth into this album cover would be an infinitely better idea than listening to it. I couldn't have said it better myself. Back of the Met tier. Hearts and Wires, a brief resurfacing of the band we were listening to 5 minutes ago. This isn't so bad, nowhere near the band's peak, but the last track makes it look like fucking Mozart. Behind Goon Squad, in the good tier. Pittura Infamante. I don't even want to talk about it. Really, really, really bad. So bad that I'm gonna have to take a lap actually and come back to this album tomorrow. Good Grief, back of the Met tier. Xenon, I don't know what to say. My lap took around 24 hours and I've come back to a borderline painful listen. I can't do another lap. This sucks though. Above Lifter, in the OK tier. LMIRL. Better than the last one, but man, we were on a real cold streak there. I actually like the instrumentation on this track. It's very unique. It's very different. A highlight of this album so far, for sure. Behind Mascara, in the really good tier. Gore, the title track, and an undeserving one at that. This might be my least favorite track here. Really love listening in all facets. Top of the Met tier. Phantom Bride. Now, before I even listen to this track, I must admit to you, I am a massive Jerry Cantrell fan. He does feature on this track, but I'll try not to let my bias blind me to the quality of the song. Man, easily the highlight of this record. That doesn't say much though. The guitar is incredible, as you'd expect from Jerry Cantrell. This is pretty damn good. Behind Tempest, in the amazing tier. Rubicon, a decent enough conclusion to this album. It's nothing special, but it's special when you look at the rest of this record, for sure. This has been painful. These last 2 tracks have relieved some of that pain though. Behind Deathblow, in the really good tier. On to the band's final studio album as of recording this video, Ohms. Another album that went under my radar, this one with not nearly as much negative reception. Hopefully, a return to form from the band. Let's go. Genesis, pretty solid start here actually. I'm optimistic for the rest of this record. Behind Mascara, in the really good tier. Ceremony, I think I like this one even more. Really great start. Killer bass line on this track. I'm a big fan. Above Mascara, in the really good tier. Urantia, this isn't quite as good. Excellent guitar though. Not a song that particularly struck me. It's a very typical Deftones track, I would say. Above Die the Flu, in the good tier. Error. More super generic stuff here. It's alright, but nothing more than that. Chorus is pretty good though. The guitar solo was also actually pretty damn good. Behind Goon Squad, in the good tier. The Spell of Mathematics, same thing. Nothing special, but it's good enough. Forgettable track, I don't hate it. Overstays its welcome a little bit though. Outro's a little too long for my liking. Behind Kim Dracula, in the good tier. Pompeii. This one I don't like so much. It's unique, but it's not all that great. Another overly long outro on this song. Above Rickets, in the good tier. This Link is Dead. Really heavy track here. It's not bad. Reminds me a lot of earlier projects though. This whole album, to be honest, doesn't really have its own sound, its own concept. Very bland stuff. This track, no different. Behind 7 Words, in the good tier. Radiant City, I'm pretty much out of stuff to say. Above Error, in the good tier. Headless, this is good. Vocals are really on point on this track. There's not much else to say though. Lyrically interesting, I guess. Back of the really good tier. Ohms, I know a lot of people like this track a lot, but to be honest, it doesn't do much for me. It's good, one of the better tracks on this album for sure, but I'm calm, cool, and collected here. Staring at the lyrics with a straight face, tapping my foot just a little bit. Back of the amazing tier. That's it for the band's mainline albums. Onto the B-Sides and Rarities LP featuring, well, a couple B-Sides released back in 2005, which places it between the self-titled album and Saturday Night Wrist if you want to place it somewhere in a timeline. Let's go. Wax and Wane, this is alright. Very peculiar track if I had to describe it in one word to you. It's not bad, but I understand why it's a B-side. Above Error, in the good tier. Change in the House of Flies, acoustic. I'm a sucker for acoustic versions of heavy tracks. Alice in Chains Unplugged, Nirvana Unplugged, Stone Temple Pilots Unplugged. 3 of my favorite projects to listen to top to bottom ever. This song is fantastic acoustic. Vocals, incredible. Just gives the song a whole new tone. I love it a lot. Above Minerva, in the masterpiece tier. Sinatra, 2005 remix. A cover of the Helmet song released in 1990, and the only cover present on this album and not on the collection of cover tracks. Why that is, I don't know. This is damn good though. I had never heard the original track, but dare I say Deftones did it a little bit better. Behind Kim Dracula, in the good tier. Teenager Idiot version. I don't often like to rank alternate takes of songs in these videos, but this one was almost too funny not to do. This shit is terrible. I'm relatively shocked that they put this out for the world to hear, to be honest with you. Just a really bad rendition of a song that I already wasn't crazy high on. Still better than a majority of Gore though. Top of the meh tier. Crenshaw Punch, really average track here, a textbook B-side. Back of the good tier. Black Moon, what the hell is going on here? I had to make sure I was still listening to the right record. Interesting concept, I suppose, but it's not done exceptionally well. I respect the idea though, and we're better than a B-side compilation to release a track like this. Behind Rickets, in the good tier. Digital Bath Acoustic. Now on the other side of that beautiful acoustic track coin, we have this monstrosity where Chino pretty much just moans in my ear for about 5 minutes. I could have survived never hearing this, you probably could too. Run and don't look back, my dear viewer. Nah, on a serious note, once he stops moaning, it's actually a pretty good rendition of the track. I like it. Back of the really good tier. Be Quiet and Drive Acoustic. Now on the third side of our strangely 3-sided coin, we have this glorious track here. Genuinely jaw-dropping vocals on this track. Really, really, really good. Listen to this if you haven't already. Top of the masterpiece tier. Night Boat, a bonus track on a collection of B-sides makes very little sense to me, but here we are. This song kind of blows. I will not be back to this track. Above Gore, in the meh tier. Rapid fire covers time. I'm not going to go too in depth, but I thought it'd be cool to see where the covers rank. Let's go. Drive, one of my favorite covers of all time. Better than the original. Incredible song. Behind Swerve City, in the masterpiece tier. Please, 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 let me get what I want. This is alright. Overrated, I fear. Above Die the Flu, in the good tier. No Ordinary Love. Interesting. I like this, actually. Behind Kim Dracula, in the good tier. Savory. Mid at best. Top of the okay tier. Simple Man, Shinedown did it better, and they're fucking terrible. Top of the decent tier. The Chauffeur, I don't like this one. Back of the okay tier. If Only Tonight We Could Sleep, not great. Behind Ghosts, in the okay tier. Sleepwalk, a little instrumental conclusion, thumbs up, who cares. Behind Caress, in the good tier. And with that, we're done. Every Deftones song, including the covers, ranked. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know who you want to see next. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe if you aren't a Deftone, and peace.